good, YouTube? Your boy Electric Carves here, back with another review, and this time we're talking about the PROPEL Pivot GT. Now, I want to preface to say that PROPEL did not sponsor this video. I purchased this board myself, so what you're going to get is an honest review, in my eyes, of the good and maybe the not so good. So with that being said, let's get into the unboxing. So the board arrived to me in 19 days from the time I placed the order in a non-logo box. When you open up the box, you will get a parts list which will show everything that was included with your order and that's included in the box here, as well as also a welcome letter with a contact email in case you do have any issues with your shipment. Next on this is an instruction manual with some very basic detailed instructions on operation of the board itself. When you open up the foam here, you will see the board. I removed the plastic piece for the sake of the video here. 55T wheel pulleys are included with the shipment for the standard version, which I purchased. And once you remove the board, you'll see the rest of the pieces included with your shipment here. 150 millimeter 6-inch tires came with the standard version. I did not go with the street option. I will explain that a little bit later in this review on why I did not go with those. Also, a Y tool is included with this. And then you also have your power adapter and its cord. The power adapter is a 4.5 amp charger, so it could be a little bit more powerful in my opinion, but it still gets the job done. Remote included with your board right here, as well as also the included pull bar, which acts as a bash guard as well too. So nice little feature they included with that. Those are the screws that you use to install the pull bar. Lastly, you do have your 325x5 belts included. Now I opted to go with the integrated headlights, which are sold separately, but I think it's just a really cool feature to have these. They're wired into the board itself, so you don't have to worry about batteries running out, having to recharge it, or anything like that. It's fairly easy to install. There's 2 screws that you remove at the top right there, and then you'll see a wire that's taped down with electrical tape below here. Once you connect the wire with the clip there, I would recommend using some needle nose pliers. It's kind of hard to get to for this, but that connects the lights to the board itself. There is a weather strip which will keep water out from getting into the wiring of the headlights as well. Then you put the 2 screws back down, which will seal it with the weatherproof rubber piece down below. Let's see what they look like. Speed button, holding it down turns them on and off. For text and specs, the included motor bash guard is a nice add that PROPEL gives you. One thing to note here though is these screws did come out upon riding, and I actually ended up going to Ace and getting replacement screws for these. So one thing to note, just make sure your screws are tight before you start riding. I did use some blue Loctite when I secured those down this time, so they are good to go moving forward. For the rear trucks, I ended up replacing the bottom bushings with some Riptide 96A crank barrels. I love the stability of crank barrels, and I love how they spring you back during carves. If you've never skated them, give them a shot, but being double kimping trucks, I really liked how they feel. Moving on to the ESC, this is a 70A custom FOC ESC, and it is the smooth version. Now, one thing I want to explain about that is there are 2 versions of ESCs that you can get with this board here. One is a racing version and one is a smooth version. The smooth version is default. However, I have heard of riders receiving a board with the racing version, which is extremely jerky, and it's not really pleasant to ride based on other feedback that I've seen. So make sure that you include in the notes that you want the smooth version when you're ordering. Moving on to the battery here. Now this is where this board really shines and what made me want to purchase this board. 12S 4P Samsung 50S cell batteries with 864 watt hours. That's an insane amount of battery power for this board, especially at the price point. They've also went with a wireless PCBA battery design, which they claim to make it the most shockproof and resilient mass-produced battery, especially at that price tier. 9¼ inch double kingpin trucks with stock bushings I'm running up front, which have a barrel at the bottom and a cone up top. As for the wheels included with this standard version here, you do get the Bravura alloy hubs with Sunmate 6-inch tires. The hubs, I will say, they're machined and they're super nice. You're not going to find another 2-in-1 style board with metal hubs at this price point. Included pull bar, which also acts as a bash guard, also comes with the board. I will say the pull bar is great if you have pneumatic tires on. If you're using street tires, the bash guards in the back motor tend to drag, so it's kind of pointless at that point. Now, something else unique with this board is that they use what's called a carbon hybrid BVR unibody. And basically what that means is they've combined the best of carbon fiber and the best of fiberglass, which they claim that they will dampen the vibrations of your ride at about 15% compared to traditional carbon fiber boards. Another key selling point was the nice clearance, which is about 4 inches that this board has. Nice clearance, what that gives you is the ability to run over curbs. If you're taking it off-roading, you're not going to bottom out and scratch the body of the board. Moving to the top of the board, what you'll see here is there is a average concave, which gives really good stability on your feet as you're moving and carving and riding. So nice feel as you're riding through the board with that. The other piece that I really like that's unique with this board is you do have 3mm shock absorbing grip tape, or padded grip as they call it, which again helps with the comfortability when you're riding. It reduces the shock absorbance and just makes it an overall more comfortable ride. You do have a functional working brake light also that you can use on your remote, so anytime you hit the brakes, you can see right there the brake light does come on. Now, one thing that's kind of cool with the board too is they went with a different design. They don't use your traditional hexagons that you see on all the other 2-in-1 boards, and it contrasts nicely with the glossy upper finish of the board itself. There is a wide body on the top part too. It measures out at 10.5 inches wide, so if you wear a larger shoe like myself, I'm a size 12, very comfortable to ride on the board. Now, the remote is something I think they could have improved on. You've got all of your standard features. You can adjust your power mode into 4 different speed levels. You can adjust your brake mode into 4 different speed levels. That's all nice and everything, but this same remote I've got on one of my budget style boards. And I think when you're spending, $1,000 plus on a performance board, you kind of need to have a nice remote that comes with it, in my opinion. There's nothing special about this remote, no color screen. It does feel great as far as, in your hand and operational and everything, so no complaints there. I guess they had to cut costs somewhere when they were designing the board, but I'd like to see something different here. Now, the street wheel setup. This is something I did differently as well. I decided to go with the standard version and not the 2-in-1. The reason for that being is the street wheels that they send you, they have the pulleys glued to the wheels. I'm not sure why they did that, maybe for ease of use of changing out, but what that does is it lacks the ability to change out different styles of wheels. I would suggest saving yourself the extra $100 and then get the standard version. That way you can go and purchase whatever wheel setup that you want. I'm a street skater by heart, so I love the ability to change out my wheel styles, different sizes, different compounds. They give you all different feels, and to me, that's the true beauty of e-skate, and being able to customize and have your ride feel different with every different wheel setup. Now let's take a look at some footage from different wheel setups. Let's get it.
I say hello, 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 hello. You can't do what I do, that's just something you don't. I make this look easy from the way that I told. On tip mention, I be turning suckers to ghosts. I be like Rock the Great One, I lay a smack down down when I'm on the station. I never back down, I'm an inspiration. Illuminate a little with imagination. Now who the hell telling me to leave the basement? It's over, face it. It's been too long, there's a new replacement. Y'all motherfuckers need to learn some patience. 9 to 5s ain't allowed, that's a slave. Money come quick, even quicker when it go. Money come quick, something burnt in your soul. No, you can't fit a hoe, cause you ain't in control. If you money, ain't it funny how it goes? Money come quick, even quicker when it go. Money come quick, something burnt in your soul. No, you can't fit a hoe, cause you ain't in control. If you money, ain't it funny how it goes? Follow in my footsteps, I say hello, 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 hello. You can't do what I do, that's just something you don't. Something you don't. I make this look easy from the way that I told me that I told. On dimension, I be turning suckers to ghosts. Suckers to ghosts. Suckers to ghosts. On dimension, I be turning suckers to ghosts. Suckers to ghosts. Suckers to ghosts. On dimension, I be turning suckers to ghosts. If you walked a mile in my shoes, you'll be dead in a minute. Way that I work, store clerk, no limit. 365 all up on my business. I don't go out, I be earning my interest. Yeah, I have fun, I be murking these infants. Go the distance when I flex my fitness. You a witness, so fly like Nimbus.
Final conclusion. Now, when I was shopping for a 2-in-1 board, I wanted something that was unique, had a lot of power, and a good amount of range to take on group rides. This board fit all three of those. Between the Samsung 50S cells, the wireless battery technology, also the carbon hybrid design that was unique and helped dampen some of the vibrations that you traditionally get from a carbon fiber board, I thought these were all cool, unique features with this. Now, at the time of this video, this board now is priced at $12.99. I was able to grab it on sale at $1,099, and I've even seen it as low as $9.99 during Black Fridays. That being said, would I still purchase it at $12.99? Absolutely. You're not going to find another board with this amount of power, features, range, the machined alloys, all of those things that you get at this price point. You're not going to find something else unless you're spending $1,500 plus. Now, does that mean that this board's perfect? Absolutely not. The remote is just okay. I mean, I'd like to see an option to maybe upgrade to a nicer remote, but it is what it is. Also, the trucks that come with it, they're just okay as well. The bushings that came with the board are a little sluggish, and I would highly suggest upgrading to some riptides for a better feel, especially if you're a carver like I am. I'll end up probably upgrading my front bushings too. Now, the other piece I want to call out is the shipping time. 19 days whenever you make a purchase isn't too bad. I've heard stories of 30 days in excess when people have bought this board, but there's other companies out there when you purchase a board, it's at your doorstep in about 5 to 7 business days. Also, the front headlights, I didn't receive those until about 5 days after my board had already arrived. I'd like to see the headlights or any accessories that you purchase arrive either the same time or even before your board gets here. When you get your board, the last thing you want to do is wait on the extra accessories that you purchased. It'd be nice to have everything all at once ready to go. One thing to call out with the headlights too is when you have a street wheel on your board, if you lean really hard down on your board, it will rub and touch the front lights that you purchased separately on there. Now, when you're carving, I mean, it would have to be a ridiculous amount of leaning for it to actually rub, but that is still there. I'd like to see a design on the headlights where they're tilted up maybe a little bit where you don't have to worry about that. Lastly, the street wheels. I'd like to see the street wheels not have the pulleys glued to them. I think Propel would sell more if they just sold normal street wheels that you could interchange the pulleys out. So this wraps up my review of the Propel Pivot GT, and I hope you found this content useful. Guys, if you can comment, like, and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel, and if you want to see more content like this, this helps me grow. Have a good one.